It's an unfortunate fact that in recent years, wildfires have grown to be a larger part of the outdoor experience than we'd like. It seems like almost every year, the smoke from a fire impacts one of my hikes. It happened again this year, where several large fires stretching from Northern California to the Canadian border sent heavy smoke in my direction. The last 3 days of my Wonderland hike was impacted by heavy smoke. My trail name is Minor. This is my story. Well, good morning. It is 7:15 and I'm just starting out. Pretty flowers this morning. Rain picked up last night and smelling a faint smell of smoke all night. Can only imagine what that's done to my lungs. It's 51 degrees today and I have maybe 12 and a half miles to go. I'd like to talk a little bit about campsite courtesy. One of the things I don't like about designated campsites where you force everybody to camp in the same area, other than the lack of privacy, is the lack of consideration for others. Last night, a group of 3 guys came in at 9:15. Most people try to be quiet. When it gets late or early, they came in and they're talking in normal voices, and the rest of the campsite is completely silent because everybody else has already gone to bed. And then they got up earlier than everyone else, and once again they're talking in full voices. It's clearly they're just not even considering anybody else in their vicinity. And this campsite, the sites aren't very far apart. That smoke is really blowing back in again. It's a strong wind though. Glad I got views of Rainier this morning without the smoke really interfering. So fall is starting to come with the brush turning red already. It's a cold breeze. It's still like 51 degrees. This wind is definitely cutting it down to low 40s at least, but I'm generating enough body heat that I don't need to layer up. This is just a lovely morning. I am just happy to be out on the trail. These are what backpacking trips are supposed to be like. Great views, great weather, and good trail. On the Wonderland Trail, that's just something you cannot take for granted. Looks like my trail goes down through there. Beautiful. It's going to be a lovely morning. Wind back there was starting to blow me sideways a little bit. Had to run after my hat once, but this is one of those times where it just feels like joy is just bubbling up from the innermost part of my being. And I can't help just have a smile on my face. Probably would just sit and just soak in the moment if it wasn't for this cold wind, because I'd have to layer up if I stop. All that brown haze on the horizon. It's a lot of smoke over there. big gust slam into the back of me with a big cloud of dust, and that dust stung a little bit when it hit the back of my legs. I'm gonna get some water. Good morning toward Rainier. As you don't look that direction where the smoke is, but it's behind me. I'm moving away from it, so I'm fine with that. Well, finally dropped back into some trees. Still see the mountain through the trees. This is the kind of view that I envision when I think of the Pacific Northwest. Snow-capped mountains with forest. Just gotta take a break and want to use their toilet. Well, got my business taken care of. Took a rest. It's about 10:30. Mystic Lake is in 4.7 miles. I've been told that it's a nice place to swim, though the person that told me said they were only in it for 2-3 minutes. Well, it's been too good to be true. The Wonderland's true nature has come out again. Kind of trail that's just really hard on the knees. My knees haven't really bothered me on this trip, but I just get a feeling when they build a trail like this, they don't care about erosion, because they're just going to cause the water to speed up and pull more dirt with it. People mentioned during the later part of the day when a runoff is increased, the bridge could be wet, or the water can be hitting it and even overflowing it. On that steep descent, my right knee started to bother me. So I'm going to take a break here and give it a chance to rest before we do any climbing. Wasn't happy when the smoke started coming in yesterday, at least from my perspective.
Was it a lot smokier over by sunrise?
At sunrise, it was very smoky yesterday. Mm-hmm. It's not as bad today, but then again, we're further west.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of this smoke is coming from down in California and Oregon, but
there was a fire I saw as I looked toward Mount Adams. I could see a fire that was like southeast.
Yeah, that's the Goat Rocks fire. I can't imagine it would put out this much smoke, a fire that size.
The only big fire I knew of in Washington was the one up by the Canadian border or by the PCT. Mm-hmm. I still wouldn't think it would blow this far. I could be wrong.
Well, I mean, we've had smoky days in the past, and the smoke was coming from fire in Siberia. So
that's a long ways.
If smoke can get here from Siberia, it can get here from the North Cascades.
Yeah. Everybody said it was a nice lake to swim in, but that is cold.
Tomatoes are good. Eat a whole box of them.
I'm a bit stiff. I think I forgot to stretch when I stopped. Could have had a nice beach here too. Yeah, they're just so picked over. These are actually huckleberries, not blueberries. They're related though. That looks lovely. Well, the view looks lovely, but the I was being sarcastic about the smoke. Seems like the smoke is heavier in the afternoon than in the morning. I might want to get up early tomorrow. Try to get on the trail around first light or so, which would extend the amount of time I would get without smoke. That is the smoke making it seem like it's evening. It's only like 4:30. Should have waited to get water here. Would have just stuck my bottle under it. It's a pretty waterfall. I love how the moss covers all the rocks. See that red fireball in the sky? That's our sun. Wow, that's really thick over there. Can't even see Rainier anymore. Good morning. It is 6:35 and 62 degrees. At about 5:50, I finally decided to get up early and was getting dressed, and I started to feel the sky spit an occasional raindrop at me, and I heard them hitting around me a little bit. So I sped up, haphazardly threw all my stuff in my pack, went and got my food back, and it had stopped. Couple of clouds in the sky, but smoke smells very thick, like it didn't really clear out. I don't know if it's because the clouds held it in, or the air didn't move last night, because yesterday the morning was much better than the previous afternoon, so I'm not sure what that means. Despite the smoky haze, it's actually pretty scenery. Expecting a pink sky by now. Maybe it's too thick for the sun to break through enough. Just ran into a couple. They had passed through the other direction yesterday and said they got lost as well. Now they're headed back. It's nice knowing where you're going. They want me to scramble up the rock pile. Yeah, this trail at times really does remind me of the AT. I think I'm thinking of Vermont, New Hampshire at playtimes. This fits right in on the AT. No one would question it, except there's no white blazes on the rocks. Just pink flagging. I'm so glad to be done. It's enough challenge for the morning. Pretty thick curtain of moss on these rocks. Feels like an obstacle course. This is a pretty big log. Take years for this one to rot away. This is an interesting bridge. Propped up on the end of that log. According to this, I've come 4.3 miles, and I have 5.3 miles to the lake. My spur, though, is probably before the campground, so maybe knock a third of a mile off that. Still, it's about halfway. It's not bad for 9 o'clock. I just imagine a bear coming into camp at night going, "Who's been eating my food?" and checking everybody's hands for purple. These aren't that picked over. These are actually got some sizable ones. If I wasn't on my last day and trying to push out to get lunch, I might actually spend a few minutes here. It's a pretty waterfall. Just grab some water here. Now I gotta find a place to take a break. Gotta get out of this first. Really having to lean into this. Still not quite as bad as it was a little further down. That smoke is making it hot because it has some of the heat of the fire still on it. It's humid. I am sweating a lot. Suppose I'm a tenth of a mile down. It's like 160 feet, but I'm pooped. This is a steep trail. I'm at the top of Ipsut Pass. I'm pooped. Got about a mile to my vehicle, maybe 200 feet of elevation loss, some trivial gain. So it should be mostly flat, it should go fast. But that smile just took everything out of me. I was sweating a lot. I mean, it was just dripping off of me. Because of all the vegetation, it felt humid. Sun kept coming out and shining out, which made it a lot hotter. And the smoke itself, I think, has a certain amount of heat in it from the fire that generated it. Yeah, I'm pretty spent. If I had to do another climb like that anytime soon, I'd have to take a very long break here to recover. Get some electrolytes and some calories in my system. Seven and a half days. I am done.